in this very session, we are going to unfold all the issues which would certainly help you understand the dynamics of even software project management. So first of all, I am sharing with you the main concerns of our software project. Have a look at. These are the main concerns of our project management. At the top, we do look product quality, risk assessment, measurement, cost estimation, project scheduling, customer satisfaction, staffing, other resources, and project monitoring. What did you analyze out of this? How do you understand it? If we do talk about a software project, that these are also the very important concerns we need to focus on. Again, looking at the project, it again would be requiring us to what? It's a specific, even your requirements plan. And sometimes we also make use of the wonderful document that is also called software management plan. It means that is how your software project is likely to be managed. So that's why software project management plan. So how do we create that SMPM document? It is more important. It is not only in even a handful of activities that we need to undertake, but we need to plan each of the things very rigorously. We also need to schedule each and every resource for undertaking the activities, and we also need to keep a control over the activities which are scheduled and which are ongoing. So starting from its initial plan and then until the delivery of your project along with the documentation, this is the very meaning and purpose of our software project management. Now, there could be certain questions that could be coming to mind. That as you have enumerated even the quality, cost estimation, effort estimation, risk assessment, and blah blah. So these are not only confined only to these 2, 3, or 4 or 5 even attributes of your software system. But more important would be what? These are all the activities which we are concerned about, which we are to undertake as a part of your software project. When we say what exactly could be the possible aspects of software project, we could be also talking about. But very important of this, that how do we undertake it? Who are responsible for it? What can be the possible activities? What are the different ways and styles of scheduling? So that is more importantly likely to be discussed as a part of this session. Now, if we look on to that as to why we are interested in estimating the cost, why we are interested in estimating the time, why we are estimating in the total budget, why we are interested in estimating the even total time for delivery. So these are some of the very important concerns which would help manage the software production appropriately. So if we move on to that, what are the particular more important aspects, that is what really helps in failing a project. Don't you think that every project when it commences, there are so many fears, and even that is success celebrations are always in mind with the people. Why the projects do fail, we already have discussed in the initial phases of our software engineering, that is, we should not allow anything to happen in such a manner that which really is even making the software projects to fail. So these are some of the reasons as to why our projects fail. You might be noticing that if you already have estimated the time, that is, it is likely to take even 4 months for the project. First thing is, how did you estimate? You simply just, it was only your guess which helped to make this commitment, or did you apply certain tool to help you to compute even 4 months for the project? It is not only the experience, but it could be also certain tools today that you may also happen to use. I am submitting one very important tool that is called CASE, CASE, Computer Aided Software Engineering. So CASE tools are those kind of tools which may be governing the complete process, starting from its requirement until the operation of your system. Whether it's confined to your requirements, it could be its specification, it could be the design, it could be the testing, it could be its implementation. So this is how we progress with our software project. Our software project is nothing beyond than your life cycle. But the question is, how will you be, you can say, keeping a control over the complete project? So these are some of the reasons that we should observe very closely. And first of the reasons, that is as to why project fails, nothing but first is unrealistic deadline is established. Why unrealistic deadlines? Who made the deadlines to be put as a part of the agreement? So unless or until you have any precise or good tool to help you estimate the overall approximate time for completion of a project, why you give a word to the clients and customers? So it will be far better that either with your experience or using certain tools, you can arrive at even determining of even the particular approximate time. And this approximation ultimately may become the exact time. So if it differs, in general practice, it doesn't differ more than even 5 to 10%. Another thing, how many people you will require in the project? How do you recruit the staff? Which kind of your hardware and software you would require for your project? Which kind of approach you may follow for your project management? So these are also other important concerns, that if you are not well acquainted with all these, it may be a possibility that you may not able to justify the project management in a proper way. So next most important reason to be addressed as to why project fails is what? Changing customer requirements. What do you mean by changing customer requirements? That is, requirements keep coming from all different corners, and all the different clients, they keep coming up with more and more requirements. So what is happening? That is, our requirements document is not the up to date, is not the one that has been perfected and has been delivered to you. So once you have the document at hand and you are not able to plan all your requirements properly, so you will be a big failure. So this is again highly needed, that we also have to allow the customers to make the changes in the requirements they had earlier submitted. At the same time, you also have to give it a sharp edge, even for the engineers, that they be ready to accept the changes. Because unless or until our requirements of the clients are not met, it will not be able to justify the stability of the project or the system. The next, another important reason to help failing your project is what? An honest underestimate of effort. Because the effort that you could have estimated, it is totally hypothetical. You may have just even suggested the overall effort by guess. But even the guess or even that estimation should not be based merely on totally a guess, but it should be your earlier experience. You could be using certain tool which is helping you to decide the overall effort. Now this effort would help require, that is which, how many people you would require, how much staffing you need. So it would help decide the overall staff recruitment. For example, initially you thought, that is as per my experience on early projects, this project would require 5 people. But what kind of 5 people you want to be recruited, to be staffed? Is it the same scale that you had given this figure, and that even technicality of the people you are engaging or you are recruiting? Or it could be any 5 people. We always have to even believe in the work. So whenever we are recruiting people, rather than engaging 10 unskilled people, better would be recruit 5 skilled hands. Similarly, having even 50 people on the project, better would be even 10 trusted, tried, and even dedicated, and even efficient and skilled person. If you recruit, that will be far better. So on one side we are talking about, that is, effort estimation could not be met properly, and due to this lack, it gave even the figure of the personnel to be recruited, it was also changed. And that's why you will not be able to stick to our deadlines. So in this way, it certainly would also lead to even failure of your project. Similarly, when you do find what kind of risks you may have, so there are other possibilities too along with it. If you just even have a look at the list once again, 4th possibility is what? Predictable and or unpredictable risks, technical difficulties, miscommunication among project staff, and failure in project management. What did you find? In totality, we could sum up, that is, if you have a lot of technical stuff to be done, unskilled man, unskilled personnel or people cannot accomplish your that target and task. Similarly, if you do look, okay, we are even engaging the unskilled people, but even then you are not training them, it's also another fault. It's even lapse on the management part. So similarly, even small things, if you even are very casual towards these things, it certainly would not allow the software system to be delivered well in time. And we should never ever forget even the major goal of the software engineering discipline. That is, software engineering discipline is mainly aimed at delivering the software system which is meeting all the functional requirements within a defined budget and within the defined time domain, time framework. So that should be the main spirit. And this is how, that is, in case at one account or another account, if we skipped or you can say missed the deadlines, it is certainly would lead to a big failure. We also need to understand even the human psyche. Sometimes what happens, that is, there may be, you can say, even a good technical group you happen to lead. But even then you are not able to manage your project well in time. Now what's the problem? Problem may also be what sometimes it would be your interpersonal skills. That how confidently you lead your group, how confidently you encourage them to come up with more and more important ways, innovative ways they can come up with to deliver the solution. So we as a manager, as a leader, we need to encourage all our team members. So that's why even human factors are also equally important in making the software project as a grand success. Otherwise, there are many issues, many good teams, many good projects. Despite of all odds, sometimes they have failed and other times they have succeeded. So there are so many other regions which also remain hidden. So this, as a student, as a person on who is bound to engineer the software product, certainly must look into all these aspects. Further to this, if we do look, what are those concerns? If we are talking about software project, what software project means to me, what software project means to you, that these are all nothing but it just enumerating the different important concerns. If you are talking about like documentation, if you are talking about like the budget, if you say the plans, if you say the schedule, nothing but these are all the major concerns. Now let's have a look at even this particular table. Within the table, what do you find? These are nothing but these are some of the important aspects like size. What is the size of your software project? Is it your small scale? Is it your medium scale? Is it your large scale? Now, for example, if you are handling with a large scale software project and you come to a conclusion that is I'll be able to manage this project only with 10 people. And why I'm just giving the figure 10? Because I could have managed a medium scale similar project. So never ever think that that early experience may be also going to be a success into a different kind of project. So here size is also one of the important aspects. Similarly, have a look at the other aspects including delivery deadline, budgets and costs, application domain, technology to be implemented, system constraints, user requirements, and your available resources. So after going through our all of these aspects, what do you analyze? Is software project management so easy a task? When we say that the entire software project has to be delivered by this particular date. So in giving this date, it means as far as client is concerned, client want the functionality to be delivered by a specific date. But as a developer, am I in a position to accept that date which they are imposing, which they are asking? we to stick to. So, before agreeing to the specific date and the deadline, we also need to even sum up and even just look onto all the resources we have at our end, whether it is all our project members whom we think they can really do well on the project. It could also be even the, you can say, other plethora of requirements which can help you even to meet out the project within the specific budget as well as your deadlines. So, looking at all these points, we certainly should even plan to schedule. When we say how should we plan, how to schedule, but before we proceed on to software project management, it will also be better to know, to learn that how software project management is different. How software project management is unique in its own. And if you do start comparing our software project management and your hardware project management and in your building construction projects, these are all different things. One very basic thing you must understand, that software is not visible. And if software is not visible, how will we be able to control it? If we are not able to control it, it is also not possible to manage it. And if you can't manage it, then maybe a possibility you will succeed or not. But with the human wisdom, as all our software practitioners and developers in the last 3-4 decades, they passed on so many different techniques and philosophies. With their experience, we are in a position to enumerate certain characteristics of software. If fine, not visible, but certainly we can sense, we can look at, okay, these are few even software requirements or those characteristics which we can record, which we can keep control over, which we can enumerate, and just only curbing our control onto even these characteristics and requirement, we can certainly indirectly manage our software. So friends, software project management is not so easy a task. Now let's look at what is so unique into your software systems. If you do find at that what makes your software management difficult, because one fact I shared with you, it's invisibility. So it means the software product is intangible. Second to this, there is no standard process. And third, large software projects are often one-off projects. If we say that we have to produce a software product, why don't we use the same tools and techniques and languages to engineer any of our products? Because the only reason for this, there is any solution of any problem that you want to solve using your computer system, it is unique in its own. So out of maybe that there are dozens of solutions, which of the solutions you opt for? Finally, you will be choosing the best possible solution. But that solution is nothing but that is unique in its own. Why I am saying it is unique its own? Because this problem, it is also of unique nature. And it's not possible that for the two dissimilar problems, there could be one solution, there could be one process model. So we are agreeing to one fact, that is software is intangible. When we say what software is good, what software is bad, because we don't have any scale, we don't have any formula using which we could say this software is good and this software is bad. For example, if someone is making a statement that is this length is larger than this length. Now, if you are indulging into this discussion whether I am making the right statement or not, so to reach to the conclusion, what we do have? We do have scales with us. We can measure these two lengths with a scale, and then we can come to know whether it's true or not. But determining with regard to software to say good or bad, it is not so easier. No doubt, when we say that is software is meeting all functional requirements, clients will be happy. So it means client satisfaction is what? It is a proof for it. When you say accuracy of the software is 100% correct, no doubt, our computer systems, they work with perfection. But who makes this perfection possible? It is not the computer in its own, but it is a human being after it who can make it happen. And whenever it is problematic, it is also a human being which by one reason or another one, it would have got us even incorrect results. So the success of even a good software project would also depend upon the right kind of people involved onto that. So in addition to what we are simply talking about, that what makes the software project management difficult, now let's ponder on to the distinction between the two, that is software project management and hardware project management. Have a look at even this difference. On to this difference, if you do find, that is our software projects can offer many multiple solutions. But which of the multiple solutions we are interested in? It would also depend upon, that is with what approach we could finalize that whether even this solution is better or not. Another to this, that is the overall requirement. If it doesn't appear that it may not be delivered well in time, why should we go for it? So in a manner, if you sum up that what makes your software project management difficult, and also even software project management different from your hardware project management. In case of your hardware, as I also earlier mentioned, that is invisibility. Invisibility creates many kinds of problems. And when you say this invisibility, it is also leading to what? Leading to even management problems. In case if you are not able to control your software project production, your software production, how will you be able to initiate the software control measures? It is not possible. So what we need to do, we also need to strike at certain solutions or mechanisms which can help us in this direction. I also during my right now discussion, I just mentioned one of the very important tools, case tools. What the case tools are ultimately helping for us? Case tools are those specific tools which help even the developer in its course of your software production. It's not like that we don't have the approaches, we don't possess the skills, but rather it will be so many other things which, if we are even made to understand, can really help us in managing even cumbersome and tedious projects. So these were the main things I was just sharing. Have a look at, that is software systems uniqueness, possibility of multiple solutions, individuality of programmers. So what are these? These are also the main reasons, that is how it will be different from the rest. If we are finding the third and fourth and fifth region, another comes speed of technological advancement. Another is invisibility of software products. Now let us sum up that what are the main differences between the two. As far as visibility is concerned, is one of the differences. Uniqueness, even more so, it's individuality of the programmers, because our software creation, software development, program writing, software development, these are all nothing but our artistic job. And when we say our software writing is an art, how I'm writing, how you could be writing, how others could be writing. So it means these are our different individual ways of perceiving the problem. How we understand the problem, how do we strike at the solution, it is altogether newer in every case. And why do we even form the different larger groups and we keep holding different meetings during the course of our software development? That is, we need to even put our heads together to better to hand the projects well, because more and more different ideas do come from different people, more and more solutions do come. It's not my solution be accepted, but rather we as a group should tend to work in the same spirit, that we have to evolve the one best solution possible out of multiple choices. Only then we can move ahead and we can deliver the best possible. So in this manner, these are some of the differences which make our software project handling unique in its own. Now let's even forward our discussion onto our different activities of software project, because software project, as it appear the word, it appear to be very attractive, but when we enter into the depth operations and activities, it becomes quite challenging. So what are the possible activities of your software project management? Have a look at. The first activity is nothing but it's a proposal writing. Next is project planning, project scheduling, project tracking, personal selection and evaluation, and project report writing. So what do we find here? Or proposal writing, project planning. So it means these activities are quite important. Now each of the activities in its own is an umbrella task. What should be the plan? That's most important. I would just like to share. That is one of the important plans. That is, it's one of this IEEE template, software project management plan template. And what it consists? It consists of around 7-8 heads. Now what it should? Have a look at this new red color. It is the first. It should appear to be an introduction. It should be a project organization. So what do we cover under introduction? It could be the overview, it could be the project deliverables, it could be the evolution of SPMP, it could be reference material, It could be acronyms and definitions. Similarly, under your project organization, we may include process model, organizational structure, organizational boundaries, project responsibilities. Similarly, in your under this managerial process, it could be including your management activities, assumptions, dependencies and constraints, risk management, monitoring and controlling mechanisms, staffing plan. Similarly, under your technical process head, it may include methods, tools, techniques, software documentation, project support functions. Similarly, there could be some more phases that could include your work packages. There could be certain appendices. So, my summation is that we need to strike the plan. And when we say the plan, it should be well documented. And once the plan is ready, then we should also be ready to schedule our activities. And how should we do? What exactly we need to do? So, in case of project scheduling, we certainly need to perform certain important tasks. And what it should include? We need to identify all the tasks and activities, identify dependencies, estimate the resources for activity. So, this is how we should move. So, what are the important scheduling activities? That is, allocate people to activities, determine the order of activities, estimate the resources for the complete project. So, these are project scheduling activities. Similarly, if we do discuss in brief, these are the three important scheduling techniques which are popular. First is WBS, work breakdown structure. Second, activity network charts. Third, Gantt charts. So these are the three most important even your scheduling techniques. And let's elaborate that what each of these techniques are capable of doing and how do they appear to us. What is WBS? Work breakdown structure. Our WBS is nothing but it is similar to even your hierarchical structure. So if you do find what is at the top, how you perceive from top and how it should appear at the bottom. So we are nothing but we are detailing out from the top up to the bottom structure. Similarly, if you do look, we start enumerating that how it is useful, how it will help, what its uses, because this is your own way of perceiving and realizing the facts. That is for dividing the project into phases, for dividing the project into responsibilities, for dividing the schedule into projects, for giving grounds to the cost. So these are some of the very peculiar regions that as what makes your WBS quite popular. Now let's have a look at some of the more scheduling techniques. These are activity networks. What is an activity network? The technique can be broken down into three stages, and that includes planning, scheduling and analysis. So we are already aware of planning and scheduling. Have a look at the example. This is nothing but this is an example of your activity network. So look at this first point. From here we have to reach to this one. This is the commencing date of a project and this is the delivery date of your project. How did we progress? How did we overlap the activities? This is how from 1 to 3, from 1 to 2, from 1 to 6 via 4, 5 or 3 or 2. So it means looking at this activity network, you need to sense one thing, that we can have parallelism, we can have even sequence. So how we have to sequence the activity, how we have to parallel the activities. So these are also important even decisions we need to make as a part of scheduling. Similarly, there could be some important tasks, important charts, like your Gantt charts. It could be CPM. It could be your some other tools. This is your Gantt chart. So what we do in the Gantt charts, because it was given by the same scientist name, it was Gantt. Just like this is your time scale, this is your task. This is your time scale, these are different tasks. So it means this is how we can manage that what is the time scale, what are the different tasks. For example, timetable in the class. We have total 4 hours. We have to finish these contents of these courses. So how do we schedule it? We can schedule from this to this teacher, this course, from this to this another teacher, this course. So it means it will be nothing but that how we progress during the class for any delivery of the contents for different papers. It could also be mapped using Gantt charts. So friends, in our today's discussion, we have primarily discussed our software project management, that what can be the different ways of handling the software project in a better way, what can be the different plans, what can be the different scheduling techniques, and what characteristics of a software makes it unique and different from your hardware project management. So in totality, we need to focus more onto our software project management. Thank you.